Good morning, guys. I'm going to talk to you a little bit this morning about alcohol. Of course, this week's module is focused on alcohol and the devastation that can occur with it. Most people know or themselves have had an alcoholic beverage before they graduate high school. It's almost like a rite of passage in today's society. The sad thing is that oftentimes we don't realize the impact alcohol can have on us just getting in the car. Over 30% of driving fatalities are due to someone at the time of the accident being drunk or under the influence. And another big statistic for us in the criminal justice system is almost 80% of criminal acts occur because the individual who commits the crime is under the influence of drugs or alcohol. So we know it can cause a huge problem. We also know historically that we've outlawed the use of alcohol during the Prohibition times, and it did absolutely nothing to help decrease the use. We had back dealers and bootlegging and all that kind of good stuff. So what do we do? And of course, in a couple of weeks, the Super Bowl is going to come on. And I think most of us will sit there and watch it, and we watch it for the commercials. And what do we see? Beer after beer after beer commercial. So we know that there's a huge demand, and what we do with it is another thing to discuss. Alcohol is, of course, a depressant. Many individuals don't realize that the alcohol, when you consume it, it actually slows your body down. A lot of individuals think it heightens them up. It allows them to be someone they typically wouldn't. They've lost their inhibition, so they're more social. They're more likely to dance or be with their peers and engage in conversation. When in actuality, the alcohol itself is slowing all your body systems down. But what it does is that it lowers those inhibitions, so you just don't care anymore. You don't care if you're throwing your clothes off and dancing on tables or doing whatever else, because it just doesn't matter to you anymore. However, the individuals typically get themselves into trouble and get to a point where if they're drunk, their body system can slow down so much that they lose their ability even to vomit. You've always heard of individuals who maybe even have alcoholic poisoning or alcohol poisoning, but individuals who may pass out drunk and then they aspirate on their own vomit because they don't have the ability to vomit or throw up because their systems are slowed down. Your spinal cord, the back portion of your brain, ceases the ability to even be allowed to vomit that toxin back up, and so an individual basically chokes on their vomit. It's not a great way to die, and I don't think many of us want to have that encounter. In North Carolina, you can legally drink at the age of 21. Okay, so most of us know that and are aware. There's a lot of campaigns that go on. You see advertisements time to time. However, you can't drive if your blood alcohol level is over 0.08. And blood alcohol or level is referred to as the BAC. It's just basically the concentration of alcohol in your body system. Now, one interesting thing in the state of North Carolina, they have a zero tolerance policy for anyone who uses alcohol under the age of 21. So hypothetically, let's say you're 18 and you get pulled over and you have let's say a 0.01, not 0.1, but 0.01 is what you blow. If you were over 21, you would be fine. But in the state of North Carolina, because you're under 21, you are not. Therefore, you are automatically going to be charged with a DUI, and it's considered DUI under 21. That's their zero tolerance policy. That's the way it is. Unfortunately, we have a family member who learned that the hard way, and she's waiting a court date in the next week or two. So be very cautious about that and be aware. Also, an open container, you cannot have an open container in your vehicle, regardless of who's driving or who's riding in the passenger. It is not allowed, and you will get cited for that as well. Most alcoholic beverages are made or produced by fermentation. Basically, you allow fruits to break down, you mix it with yeast, which results in alcohol. A lot of the inmates that are incarcerated will make what they call Pruno or Hoosh, which is basically jailhouse alcohol. They will smuggle or keep their fruit and their bread, and they'll take it back to their cell and allow it to ferment, and then it becomes prison wine, and it can actually get them drunk. So a lot of times in the prisons, they're aware of that, and they try to make sure and do everything in their power to prevent inmates from doing that. But of course, like anything else, we know that it happens, and happens a great deal. Before I do wrap it up, I want to mention to you something that is somewhat controversial within our society. Alcoholism is considered a disease. It's a diagnosable disease. If I go to the doctor and I give my symptoms and there is a list of criteria, they can diagnose me as being an alcoholic, and it would be considered a disease, just like something as schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, cancer, multiple sclerosis, any of those diseases. The controversy comes in because a lot of individuals feel that if I make the choice to drink an alcoholic beverages, then again, it's my choice. If I abstain from it, then I won't get that so-called disease. So there's a lot of back and forth about the logistics with that. I do know individuals whose entire family has struggled with alcohol, that genetic component. And I know families that everyone in their family has struggled with alcoholism from the time they were very young, and it follows them, unfortunately, to their early death. I also know families, at the same token, who have had an alcoholic parent, and one brother has followed in his father's footsteps and became very much an alcoholic, probably even worse than his father was. However, the other brother or the other son became a teetotaler. He would not touch and has never touched alcohol because he didn't want to become like his father. So again, that's a controversial subject that you can hash out. A lot of issues come with that. One other issue I want to discuss really briefly with you is fetal alcohol syndrome. Moms, obviously, when they're pregnant, should not be drinking. Alcohol has a very detrimental effect to a child while they're in utero, can cause long-lasting effects on them forever. So, of course, some counties, some municipalities have it as a crime if they catch a mom or a pregnant woman who is sipping alcohol while she's pregnant. So anyway, if you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to contact me, email me, stop by my office. I'm here to help. Thanks. Have a good week.